That's St Etienne from earlier on the main stage. With us backstage here at our bus is Mark and Jeremy from the Levellers. How you doing?
All right.
Not bad, thank you.
Earned the drink tonight?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Do you find it a problem going on so late?
I found it a problem staying sober all day, yeah.
It's difficult.
But we've got 2 more days to go in which to do what we want, so that's all right.
Do you enjoy it out there tonight?
Great, great. Top. Best. Brilliant.
You made a lot of reference, and you've been campaigning hard against the criminal justice bill.
Yeah.
How has this managed to sneak through, without people realising what's going on?
It's managed to sneak through for the apathy of the Great British public and the fact that it hasn't been reported by the Great British media. That's how it's managed to get through, and people don't really realise how dangerous a piece of legislation it is. No, the fact that it affects people like me and Jeremy and everybody else in Glastonbury is irrelevant. That's a lot of people in itself, but in fact, it's in the beginning of erosion of a lot of civil liberties.
But Glastonbury could still take place, though, couldn't it?
In a restricted form. I mean, I just think it's sort of quite sad when it comes to the state, of a country, when it's left up to a rock group, to try and say something about something like this. It just seems to me that it's just a sad state of affairs. Glastonbury would happen because it's got money and backing like Channel 4 and stuff like that. But a lot of other festivals wouldn't happen. A lot of them won't happen this year.
I mean, what about life for you? I mean, you live pretty much on the road.
Well, if you take, for example, like we wouldn't be doing now what we are doing if that legislation, the criminal justice bill, had been in effect 10 years ago. Me and Jeremy would either be inside or chartered accountants.
Yeah. We would never.
We'd have no fucking
can't imagine that, Mark.
We'd never got the band together,
because
we met on the road and did our first gigs, in squats and traveller sites, stuff like that, which has both been made illegal,
Yeah.
And,
But I mean, do you feel that you're sort of pressured into speaking out on behalf
No,
of...
we're not pressured into doing it. So we're doing it because we feel it is important. And like Jeremy says, it is a disgrace that it's left to people like us. I mean, we're quite willing to do it, but really we shouldn't have to do it. We don't really want to do it.
We hate sticking our necks out like this. We hate it.
I mean, do you get any hassle because you're so vocal about it?
No, because we're not that vocal, because we're quite illiterate, really.
Your phone's not being tapped yet, then?
I'm sure it is. We're very proud of a few things we've done. Like big poster opposite the new MI6 building saying your freedom is at risk. A big billboard poster opposite the MI6. So yeah, they probably have tapped our phones and all that.
Do you think the police really want these new powers?
No, they don't want it any more than anybody wants it. It's a piece
of
legislation.
It's too difficult for them to enforce and it's going to cost them shitloads of money. And it's, I mean, probably some of them want it, the real, fascist ones. But I mean, your average copper, I wouldn't have thought. I would have thought it's just going to make him an enemy of his public. You know what I mean?
Yeah, generally, it's taken them so long to recover their standing in the public eye since that they were used as a tool against the miners. To be used as a tool against the majority of young people in this country is not going to be good for them. They know that. They're not stupid. Well, some of them are, but most of them aren't.
Isn't it a bit too late though? It's going to go through.
Legislation, yeah, it probably
it's going to go through. Yeah.
But this country is so apathetic. It's easier to fight a law once it is a law, and that's when you start getting hardcore against. So you can say, look, it has happened now, you stupid sods. It has happened. Now you're going to have to fight it. You can't say to people, this is probably going to happen. People go, oh, well. Yeah.
They go, oh, it might happen to him next door, the scruffy git next door, but I'll be all right.
So when will people wake up and realise, hey, wait a minute, we've lost some freedom here?
They know somebody that's been arrested and spending 3 months inside for doing nothing other than attending a party, or nothing other than hunt saboteuring, or nothing other than chaining themselves to a bulldozer. When they know someone who's been sent down for 3 months, that's when they'll know, fuck, it's too late.
They might want to have a wedding reception or a dinner or something out in a field and they'll get nicked for it, you know what I mean?
Supposing Tony Blair comes along and said, hey, do a gig and help Labour get elected because we'll repeal the criminal justice.
Bollocks, Tony, you should have done it ages ago. You should have stood up and said, in the House of Commons, this is a disgrace. They can't be seen to do it because it is a law and order bill. The fact that there's nothing to do with law and order contained within the bill is irrelevant. They can't stand up and say no, and they haven't stood up. Therefore, they are soft as shite.
And I'm not interested. At the end of the day, all politicians are as bad as each other. At the end of the day, I mean, I wouldn't put my trust in any of them.
So you're going to carry on and keep making a nuisance of yourself, basically.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, I'm quite prepared myself to really go to town on this. Really, not for any other reason than that. If I don't play a part in getting rid of this legislation, then I don't feel I could honestly live in this country as a place that I believe that it is.
Well, anyway, the music was brilliant tonight.
Lovely. No, we'd much
and we're going to see some more
we'd
on
much
Saturday.
rather just play the
fucking
music, you know what I mean? But this is just such a shit thing that we've been forced into this position because nobody else has done it, and now we've said something.
We've become criminal justice.
You know,
balls.
now the ball is rolling. Hopefully, we can take a bit more of a back seat and let the politicians and the people who should be doing it do it. You know. And we can just go back to making, you know, rock records and having a good laugh, you know what I mean? Which we'd much rather be doing.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Stay tuned on Channel 4. Coming up, we have the Beastie Boys who've got Rage Against the Machine, and we've also got the Spin Doctors too. All coming up right after this.